Hey guys, what is up, people? How are you guys doing? Welcome back to today's session. This is session number 3 of Force and Laws of Motion. Welcome to this channel of Vedantu. I hope that all of you guys are doing good. My name is Anoop, and once again, a very warm welcome, people. So this session today will be talking about momentum and the second law of motion. I hope you guys are excited for this because I for sure am. So before we get started, guys, as always, you know the drill. There's a quote for you, and the quote for today is this, guys: "Believe you can, and you are halfway there." And this was said by Theodore Roosevelt, and it is something that is very, very true, because yes, as long as you don't believe in your own abilities or you don't believe in yourself, whatever the task might be, no matter how small it is, it might seem like an uphill task. So make sure that you believe in yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but still it's something that you have to keep in your mind. Whatever is it that you're planning to do, whatever is your aim, keep this in mind, that whatever it is, at the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself, and that is what really matters. Anyways, with that said, guys, let us get started with today's session, that is talking about momentum and the second law of motion. So in the last session, that is force force in motion, we talked about the first law of motion and inertia, and in that I'd given you homework towards the end of the session. This was the homework: when a car is suddenly accelerated, passengers inside the car are pushed dash. What is the answer for this question? I told you to give me the answer in the comment section below. The answer to this question, guys, is nothing but it moves backwards. So the person moves backwards. And why do they move backward? Because of inertia of rest. Because your body is trying to resist that sudden change in that state of motion. So your body moves backwards suddenly when the car is accelerated. So that is the answer, guys. With that said, let us now waste no more time and get started with momentum, and then we'll understand about the second law of motion as well. So here's the thing, guys. Imagine that you have to carry something light, and imagine that you have to carry something heavy. Now, among the both, which one is much more easier for you to do, or which one requires lesser force? I'm pretty sure that you will told, so light. The one which is lighter is definitely something which would require a lesser force, and so my energy spent is less, and so my work done would also be not so high, and you can relax after that. Here's the thing, guys. The force that you apply has got something to do with the mass of the object, because the greater the mass, the more the force. The lesser the mass, the lesser the force. So force is directly proportional to mass of the object. Awesome. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say there's a gun, all right, and you fire a bullet from the gun. Let's say there's a wall in front of you, and the bullet goes and hits the wall. Let's say you take another bullet and throw it on the wall. Which among the two would do a greater damage? The one which was fired from the gun, obviously. Why so? Because the one that is fired from the gun has a greater velocity. And because it has a greater velocity, it does a greater damage. It applies more force on the wall, creating a more damage. So force is directly proportional to velocity as well. Greater the velocity, greater is the force applied on the wall. Awesome. So there is a quantity that shows the relationship between mass and velocity. That quantity, my friends, is nothing but momentum, which is represented by the letter capital P. So what is the formula for momentum? Is nothing but momentum, which is P, is equal to m into v, or m times v, as simple as that. So what is momentum? It is a product of mass and velocity. The quantity of motion is what is momentum. So P is equal to m into v, and the SI unit of mass is kg, the SI unit of velocity is meter per second. So the SI unit of momentum is kg meter per second. As simple as that. Now always make sure that you keep this unit in mind, guys. Do not get it wrong. We'll be doing some problems later, so I want you guys to keep this in mind. The SI unit of momentum is nothing but kg meter per second. Alright, guys, one more thing I want to tell you guys is this: momentum is also a vector quantity. Why is it a vector quantity? Because it is a product of both mass and velocity, and the velocity is a vector quantity. It has a direction, and hence momentum also has the same direction as that of the velocity. Whatever direction is the velocity of the object, the same direction would also be the momentum as well. As simple as that. Now that you understand this, guys, let's move ahead and understand the second law of motion. Now in the last session we talked about the first law of motion. Awesome. Now we're going to talk about the second law of motion. So let's start with a very simple example. Consider a box, right? And this box is about 5 kgs. and you have to apply a force. Make sure that the velocity of it reaches to about 10 meter per second. Very simple. So you start pushing the box from one end. Your aim is to get that box to a velocity of 10 meter per second. The initial velocity is 0 meter per second because it's in the state of rest. Let's take the same box, same 5 kg box, but this time you have to push it to, you have to make sure that the velocity is 20 meter per second. Now among the both, which one requires a greater force? Case number 2, yes, because obviously you have to make it move to it has to move at a larger velocity, and so the force applied on it should also be greater. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to compare what is the momentum and how is that somehow related to the force applied on the object. So let's calculate the momentum. Right? For the first object, the initial velocity is 0 and the final velocity is 10 meter per second. So let's calculate the initial momentum. So initial momentum, I'll just write it as P1. So P1 is what? M1, M into V1 because the mass is the same. M is 5 kg, V is 0 because the initial velocity of the object is 0 meter per second. And the final velocity is 10 meter per second. So this is 0, P1 is 0, very simple. Let's calculate P2 now. P2 is what? MV2. M is still 5, but V2, that is the final velocity of the object, is 10. So what is the momentum? Final momentum is 10 kg meter per second. Now what is the change in momentum? Change in momentum, P, is nothing but final momentum minus the initial momentum. What is the final momentum? Minus the initial momentum gives you what is the change or the difference in momentum. So what is the initial momentum? That is 0. What is the final momentum? 50. So what is the change in momentum? It's 50 kg meter per second. Awesome. Let's do this exact same thing for the second object as well. The exact same procedure. So P1 is equal to mv1. So m is 5, v is 0. So initial momentum is again 0 for this one. But for the final momentum, mv2, m is 5 and v is 20, I believe. That's the final velocity of the object. So 5 into 2 is 10, so that's 100 kg meter per second. So what is the change in momentum? P is equal to P2 minus P1. P2 is 100, P1 is 0. So that gives me momentum, final momentum as 100 kg meter per second. Now here's the thing, guys. Among the two, the second one is going at a high, you're pushing it for the velocity is much more greater than that. And hence, the change in momentum is also greater, which means that the force that you apply on the object should also be greater. So, in the second case, the momentum is greater, and hence, you can say that the force is also greater because you have to apply a greater force for that change in momentum to happen. So force is directly proportional to the change in momentum, which is P2 minus P1. Now guys, among the first case and the second case, which would take a longer time for you to get to that final velocity? Case 1 or case 2? By case 1, you have to push it to, you have to make sure that the velocity is 10 meter per second. Case 2, you have to make it to 20 meter per second. Which one would take a greater time? The second one. So you can say that force is indirectly proportional to the time as well. Why? Or inversely proportional to the time. Why? Because the greater the time taken, the lesser would be the force. More the force, lesser would be the time taken. As simple as that. Now here's the thing, guys. We're going to do a small derivation. From this, we're going to arrive at our second law of motion. So here's the thing. This is what I know. Force is indirectly proportional to time taken. Force is directly proportional to change in momentum. So this is what I'm going to get. F is equal to P2 minus P1 divided by time. Now, P2 we have seen in the past. P2 is what? MV2. And P1 is what? P1 is MV1. Simple. So I'm going to substitute that over here. F is directly proportional to MV2 minus MV1 whole divided by T. Very simple. Now, m is constant because obviously I did not change the mass of the object, so m remains constant. So I'm going to take that outside. So I'll take it as v2 minus v1 divided by time taken, whole divided by time taken. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this. It says v2 minus v1 divided by time. So I can just write this as f is directly proportional to m into a. Why? Because what is acceleration? The rate of change of velocity. that is v2 minus v1 divided by time taken is nothing but acceleration. Rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So I arrive at the equation that force is directly proportional to mass into acceleration. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to introduce a proportionality constant to remove that proportionality sign, and that proportionality constant is k, which is actually equal to 1. So what am I going to get? I'll get force is equal to kma. Because the value of k is equal to 1, I am going to get force is equal to mass times acceleration. This, my friends, is the second law of motion. A very simple, very straightforward equation, very simple derivation. Do try it out. I'm pretty sure that you would be able to get it in the first couple of tries itself. Make sure that you practice it, but it's going to be super duper easy. Force is mass times acceleration, as simple as that. And this, my friends, is the second law of motion. So what does the second law of motion say? The second law of motion says that force acting on an object is the measure of its mass times its acceleration, or the product of mass and acceleration. That is what is force. And obviously the SI unit of force remains the same. It is Newton itself. Or if you want to define it, you can also define it as force applied on an object is the rate of change of momentum. Because why? We saw that force is directly proportional to P2 minus P1 divided by time taken. So the rate of change of momentum is also nothing but that is going to give you the force itself. So force applied on an object is equal to the rate of change of momentum, or you can say that force applied on an object is a measure of its force and the mass times its acceleration of mass, the product of mass and acceleration. As simple as that. Alright guys, now that we have understood these two concepts, let's do some questions. Before that guys, I have a surprise for you people, and I'm pretty sure that many of you guys who are watching the videos already would know what the surprise is, but for all the new guys out there, here's the thing guys. So we had done a little survey. I asked you guys a lot of questions based on what is happening around the world right now, that what are the problems that you guys are facing, especially when it comes to studies, because your schools are shut. There are not many tuitions also open, so you guys have been facing a lot of problems. And out of all the things that you guys have told, these are some of the problems that popped out, and I'm pretty sure that you would be able to relate to this as well. The first problem that many of you guys told is that I'm not getting my doubts cleared. I am studying from a lot of websites and YouTube videos and stuff, but then my doubts are not getting cleared. There are a lot of websites out there, but then it takes about 24 hours to 48 hours, and I really don't want to wait for 48 hours to get my doubts cleared. The second problem, notes. So I am studying there, but then notes are something that sometimes are not available. So how do I get the notes to practice it? Third, tests and assignments, because obviously you can't just go sit in front of your board exams and expect to rock that exam. You have to practice. You have to test yourself and see where you're at. So that's also an important fact of it. Competitive exams, obviously you guys are planning to do your NTSEs and KVPY and your Olympiads and stuff, so obviously you want to prepare yourself for that as well. And apart from that, choice of your own schedule, because you're not free when the teacher is free and the teacher is not free when you're free. So there's a whole lot of conflict when it comes to the choosing of your own schedule. And finally, choice of your own language. And yes, I understand that there are a lot of languages in India, but then yes, the majority of the languages that people understand is Hindi and English. So where do I get the choice of my own language so that I can, study and feel more comfortable over there? Here's the thing guys. At Vedantu, we have solved all of these problems. So let's start with the first one. Doubts. Inside the class, you not just have one teacher. You will have a minimum of 2 teachers. One is the master teacher, and you'll also have the class teacher as well. So the master teacher would be clearing your doubts and teaching the concepts. The class teacher will be clearing all your doubts as well. You get every notes and recordings of each and every sessions. So if in case you miss out a class, or if you want to watch the recordings, or if you want to download the notes, you can always download it at any point of time. You'll have multiple tests and assignments, very regular tests and assignments to check where you're at, what are the things that you're going wrong at. Everything you'll be getting a detailed report card also based on that as well. You'll be trained for your competitive exams as well. Whatever competitive exams that you're planning to write, you'll be trained for that, and you can choose your own schedule. There's no need for that hassle. Whenever you feel like studying, you can just walk into the app and turn up into a session. That's as simple as that. And finally guys, choice of your own language. Right now we are offering classes in English and in Hindi. In the future we might be adding other languages. For now it's in English and Hindi. I am pretty sure that everyone understands Hindi, either Hindi or English, so it's something that can be solved just like that. So here's the thing guys. What you have to do is I'll tell you in a minute. But before that, few more couple of things is that you get unlimited live classes with a lot of micro courses and crash courses with performance report card, like I told you, and personalized attention, like I told you. You'll have a class teacher and a master teacher to help you clear your doubts as well. The link and the coupon code would be in the description below. I'll tell you towards the end what is the coupon code, but yes, the link would be in the description below, so you just have to click on it and it'll directly take you to that. So here's the thing, guys. Once you click on that link, it'll take you to this page, which tells you what grade are you in. So are you in 1st to 12th grade? That's the classes that we are offering in. Let's say that you're in 10th grade. Once you click on that, they'll ask you which board are you in. Are you in CBSE, ICSE, or Maharashtra board? These are the 3 boards at the moment that we're offering. Let's say that you're in CBSE. Once you click on that, this is what you're gonna get. What and all I just told you, everything in one glance. You can pause the video and watch it if you want to. Then, guys, what you have to do is click on get subscription. Once you click on get subscription, this is what you're gonna see: 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month. Let's say that you want to try out for the next 30 days, all right? The 1 month subscription course. So once you click on that 1 month subscription course, the base price of that is 4,000 rupees. But on that, you get a primary discount of about roughly about 2,500 rupees, making the price to be about 2,699 rupees. I'm not exactly right. Now, on top of that, if you use the coupon code that is AM Pro, I'll tell you that in a minute. Once you click on that, if you enter that coupon code, remember the coupon code as well, you'll get an additional 500 rupees discount. Essentially, you'll be paying just 2,159 rupees. Let's say you want to try for the 3 month course. For the 3 month course, the base price is 10,000 rupees. You get a primary discount of about 3,000 rupees. Essentially, you'll be paying like 6,999 rupees. On top of that, if you use the coupon code, which I'll be telling in a minute, you would get the price down to 5,599 rupees. Let's say you want to go for the 6 month course. Here, the base price is 16,000 rupees. You get a primary discount of about 5,000 rupees. Essentially, you'll be paying 11,499 rupees. But if you use the coupon code, which I'll be giving you right now, you'll get the price down to around 9,199 rupees. Essentially, you'll be getting around 2,000 rupees discount for that coupon code. So here's the coupon code, guys. It's AM Pro. So what you have to do is click on that link that is there in the description and enter this coupon code AM Pro and avail all the offers that I just told you right now. Alright, guys. So with that said, people, let us solve some questions now. I hope you guys are clear with the concepts, because right now we'll be getting into the testing phase where you have to test yourself. So take a pen and paper and let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. Write down, try out each and every problem and let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. So here's the first question, guys. Find out the momentum of an object of mass 500 grams moving with a speed of 10 meter per second. Is it 100 grams per second? Is it 50 kg meter per second? Is it 5 kg meter per second or 1 kg meter per second? Answer in the comment section below. So the answer to this question, guys, momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. The mass is 500 grams. I told you that the SI unit is kg meter per second. So convert that to kg. So how 500 grams divided by 1000. So that's 0.5 kg into the mass, in the velocity is 10. So here it is 5 kg meter per second. That's all, guys. Very simple, good start. But yes, I hope you guys gave the right answer. Well done, guys. All those who gave the right answer. The answer is 5 kg meter per second. Very simple. Second question. It's going to get a little tougher. An object's momentum is 80 kg meter per second and its mass is 1,600 grams. Find the velocity of the object. Is it 5 meter per second? Is it 50 meter per second? Is it 25 meter per second? Or is it 20 meter per second? Let's do this, guys. So momentum, again, write on the formula. It makes your life a lot more easier. So momentum is given as 80 kg meter per second. They've given you the mass as 1,600 grams. If you convert that to kg, it's divided by 1,000. So that's 1.6 kg, if I'm not wrong. Then you just put down the equation. So momentum is already given as 80. So let me just write it as 80 over here. Mass is 1.6 into velocity. So it's 80 divided by 1.6 is equal to V. So it is 800 divided by 1.6 into 10 into 10. I'm just going to multiply it so that my life gets easier. So 248,002,816, 248,200, 2210, 224, sorry, 0 to 50 would be the answer. That's it. 50 kg meter per second, if I'm not wrong, that would be the answer for this question. Sorry, 50 meter per second, because you're finding out the velocity. Sorry, guys. So it's 50 meter per second. As simple as that. That is the answer for this question, guys. Very simple question. Again, it'll get a little tougher as the questions go by, but this is a pretty easy one, 50 meter per second. Again, let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. Pause the video and let me know what is the answer. All right? Do not just write down, go with the flow. All right, I want you guys to pause it and practice by yourself. Here's the third one. A freight train rolls down a track with a considerable momentum. If it were to roll at the same speed but with twice the mass, then its momentum would be zero, unchanged, quadrupled, or doubled. What would happen if the mass changes and becomes twice that of the original mass? What would happen to the momentum? It's a very simple question, guys. It'll zero, unchanged, quadrupled, or doubled. Here's the thing, guys. Momentum is directly proportional to mass. We have seen that, right? And momentum is directly proportional to velocity as well. Now we are considering only about the mass, so we don't have to consider the velocity part. It's okay, you can just ignore it for now. So if the momentum, if the mass increases 2 times, what would happen to the momentum? Even that would increase 2 times, because it's directly proportional. If that increases, this should also increase. So what would happen to the momentum? It would actually double. Just like how much was the increase in the mass, it's increasing 2 times, so momentum would also increase 2 times. As simple as I guess. Very simple. There's nothing to think about it. Here's the next one. An object of 50 kg gets the speed of 10 meters per second in 5 seconds from zero velocity. Calculate the required force applied by the engine of the car. Is it 100 Newton, 50 Newton, 200 Newton, or 10 Newton? They've given you the mass, they've given you the speed, they've given you the time taken as well. You're supposed to calculate what is the force required. You know the drill, guys. Force is nothing but mass into acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but a rate of change of velocity, that is v minus u by t. V is 10, that is the final velocity. Initial velocity 0, divided by the time taken is 5 seconds, so that's 2 meters per second square. Put that in the first equation, that is force is equal to 50 into 2, so that's 100 Newton. Very simple. That's all, guys, that's all. So that is the answer, guys. It's 100 Newton. As simple as that. Last question, guys. Here's the last one. 2 objects of mass 5 kg and 8 kg are at rest, F1 and F2. Are the forces applied on both the boxes respectively? If the speed of both the object after 5 seconds becomes 5 meters per second and 15 meters per second respectively, find out what is the value of F1 plus F2. Is it 24 Newton, 16 Newton, 40 Newton, or 31 Newton? It's actually a straightforward question. The question is pretty big, but then it's actually very, very simple. Anyways, so first thing is calculate what is the force for the first object, on the first object. So F1 is what? Mass into acceleration. Mass is given as 5 kg. And the acceleration on the first one is what? It's v minus u by t. So what is v? V is nothing but 16. U is 0 because both of them are in the state of rest. Divided by the time taken, that is 5. So 5 gets cancelled. So you'll get as 16 Newton. For the second one, F2, it is again mass into acceleration. Mass is 8 and acceleration is how much? It's 15 minus 0 divided by 5. So 5, 3, 15, 8, 3, 24. So add it up. So F1 plus F2 is what? Is 16 plus 24. So you'll get it as how much? 40 Newton. As simple as that. That's all, guys. That is the answer for this question. So that marks the end of today's session. I hope you guys understood everything. I hope you guys are going to practice, keep practicing question, guys. Don't just ignore it. Don't just watch the videos and let it go. It does not work like that. It is not a song. So make sure that you guys listen to it. I mean, watch the recordings and also practice as many questions as you can from your NCERTs and other exemplar questions as well. Do that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. And before that, yeah, by the way, homework. This is your homework for today. Find the force applied by an object having a mass of 500 grams and acceleration of 20 meters per second. Very straightforward, very direct question. Let me know what is the answer in the comment section below. I'll be looking forward to that. Thank you for joining, guys. See you on the next one. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. And like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. See you all.